Okay, good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 76 of Be With Me. We're going to talk about the Jesus and the woman of Samaria, and she basically says to him today, you don't even have a bucket. You don't have anything for me. Why should I listen to you? So here we go. This is from John chapter 4, starting in verse 7. And she keeps being named a woman of Samaria, Samaria. We'll talk about that why. A woman from Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, give me a drink. And then this parentheses, for his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. So Jesus sends 12 guys shopping. This is the most divine shopping trip ever. Why? Because he wants to talk to this woman, this Samaritan woman. So the disciples go on this divine shopping trip. Verse 9, the Samaritan woman said to him, how is it that you, a Jew, ask for a drink from me, a woman of Samaria? Again, twice the Samaria thing. And then in parentheses again, for Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. They have nothing in common with Samaritans, is what she's saying. Verse 10, Jesus answered her, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that is saying to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you, and here he introduces it, living water. And you got to love the Samaritan woman because she comes right back at him. Verse 11, the woman said to him, sir, you have nothing to draw water with, and the well is deep. Where do you get this living water? Here she comes again. Verse 12, are you greater than our father Jacob? He gave us this well and drank from it himself, as did his sons and his livestock. And we won't get to this part, but Jesus says to her, everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. So I just love, first of all, let me talk about the Samaritan woman. She is feisty. Wow. There is a lot to this woman. Now, most of it is not directed in a good direction, but she is definitely a woman of substance and depth and fire. I think if you met her, you say, wow, the lights are really on and they shine brightly. Like most of them are pointed in the wrong direction with her, but she would be very interesting to be at a cocktail party with. She is not afraid to tell you what she thinks. She is not afraid to come back at Jesus, at this guy who, by all cultural references, she shouldn't even be talking to. She's surprised that he's talking to her. The disciples are surprised that they're having this conversation when they get back. So let's talk about the substance of what her complaints are against Jesus. And it is, the Samaritan woman says, how is it that you, a Jew, ask me for a drink from me, a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. Sir, you have nothing to draw water with. You don't even have a bucket. So listen to this. You don't even have something to, much less to drink water from. You don't even have a draw water thing. You don't have a draw bucket, and you don't have a drinking cup. So fundamentally, you just don't have anything. And remember, Jesus is weary. He's human. He's thirsty. And the circumstances are he's wearied, he's thirsty, and the well is deep. And she mentions that to him. And she says, oh, and by the way, you don't have a bucket to draw water, and you don't have a bucket to drink water. In other words, her accusation of God, which is not true, is that, God, you are without resources. You are without abilities. You have nothing to offer me. You have nothing of value. So fortunately, the favor of God starts with the disfavor of her. So the Jews have no dealings, quote unquote. This is interpreted as the Jews have no shared use of things with the Samaritans. So in other words, remember the days of apartheid and the days of separation in our country is, hey, we're people that are so different. We have to go to different schools. We have to drink out of different water fountains, and we have to use different bathrooms. In other words, we do not have shared use of things as if things can contaminate us. And she's saying, wait a minute, you want to use my bucket to draw water and my drinking spoon or whatever they drank out of? So she's emphasizing the point is, how deep is this divide between us? In a sense, she's right, but it's not. What she's wrong about, that the differences between Jew and Samaritan, she's wrong about that, and that there's a big difference between men and women. But what she's right about is that I am separated from God, that there is really a big difference between me and God. All right, then she makes the point, are you greater than Jacob? Now remember about Jacob. Jacob is the old name for a guy named Israel, who eventually they named a nation after, and then Israel means struggler or wrestler. So the whole nation of Israel is a guy that strives after God. Now, this guy originally, if you were in the heavenly council and Jesus or God said, hey, this is the guy I'm going to build a nation with, we'd be like, really? This is the guy you're going to choose? You're going to name it after him? You're going to build the nation with this guy? This deceiver guy, schemer, who raised a bunch of criminals and kidnappers and attempted murderers? Yes, the Lord says, yeah, I'm going to make a nation of wrestlers with me. And she says, are you greater than him? You don't have anything. So in conclusion, first of all, Yahoo to the Samaritan woman, I love her spirit. Secondly, maybe God has something for us today that we really need. We have needful things, and we don't even know it. We'll talk, I'm sure, about living water because it's a big theme of this. But what is the need today? What is the thirst today? On one hand, I think she's right. There is a divide between God and people, God and mankind and womankind. And the miracle in today's story is not that I favor God, which is her complaint, which is, Lord, you have nothing for me. The miracle is that he favors us with this living water, but he wins Israel. He walks with Israel, the person in the nation, and guess what? The not Israelizers too, the Gentiles and the worse than Gentiles as the Samaritan is. He has stuff for us that we cannot see, that we need. Let's go to him. Let's hear what he has to say, like the Samaritan woman. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.